So in my last video I did this thing where I was like, hello, welcome to this show, I am your host, and I kind of like that, and it gives me an intro because I don't have one. So hello and welcome to the show where we will be talking about extremely controversial topics while painting this box. I am your host, Eva. On my notes app, I wrote down a bunch of very controversial topics that we will be discussing. And then this box has broken Santa ornament that's glued back together because I broke it before it was out of the package. And this box used to hold peppermint bark. There are still crumbs. Snacks. For Christmas I got not just any Poscas, but the ultra fine ones. And I kind of want to try them out. First thing I wrote down is pineapple on pizza.
Yes.
I don't like Hawaiian pizza because it has bacon on it and I don't eat meat, but I've had Hawaiian pizza without the bacon and it's very good. I don't see why people dislike it. You can put anything on pizza. Like, aren't there dessert pizzas? It's a fruit, but apparently tomatoes are fruits and not vegetables. So maybe pineapple is vegetable and not a fruit, and therefore it's like the same thing. Oh, if pineapple, wait. If tomatoes are fruits and not vegetables, then why isn't it weird to have crushed up tomato sauce or crushed up tomatoes on pizza and not? Like, if people think it's weird because it's a fruit.
Wow.
If you think fruit on pizza is gross, then have it without red sauce. So I think we proved that topic. Is water wet is the thing. And when I did a theater camp, I think it was the improv class, we improvised a debate, and our debate was, is water wet? If water is not wet, how does it make other things wet? Like, take paper towels for example. A paper towel, you just touch it. Like, say I took this paper towel and I touched it to this box is not wet, but if I were to dab this paper towel in water and then dab it on this, then this box would then become wet. So the paper towel can't make other things wet unless this is wet. Therefore water can't make other things wet unless the water itself is wet. Recently on Mr. Beast's story, somebody asked, is water wet? And he just said no. But he didn't actually give any reasoning, so I think that makes my argument more reliable. So the next one, I just put We Can Be Heroes. The only reason I'm saying this is a controversial topic is because why is it getting a sequel? Like, isn't We Can Be Heroes already basically a sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl? And if it's not a sequel to Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and it's just like in the same universe, is that gonna become like the new Marvel? Because I was watching it last night, but only like the first part, because then I got tired and realized I would have to get up for school, so it's not worth my time. I did watch it right when it came out on Christmas, but I was also stuck in my room and did not have anything better to do with my life. So I was able to watch a lot of videos about Easter eggs and stuff in it, and I think they obviously did put thought. First of all, why couldn't Taylor Lautner just be Shark Boy again? I don't know much about the actor other than he plays a werewolf in a vampire movie. Why did Shark Boy not talk? Because Shark Boy always had a lot of things to say in the original Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He would always be like yelling at Max, telling him to go to sleep. Why is We Can Be Heroes getting a sequel, and why did Shark Boy and Lava Girl just not get a sequel? Like, I want Max the Daydreamer to be in that. Why wasn't Max the Daydreamer in We Can Be Heroes? That was one of my main concerns too. Like, he's basically a superpower, has a superpower, because he's like the most powerful. Shark Boy and Lava Girl need his help because he was the Daydreamer and could dream hard enough for his dreams to come true. I mean, I didn't watch Shark Boy and Lava Girl when I was little. I literally just discovered it, I guess, last year at my friend's house. He showed me, and will admit that that was a mistake. I'm just confused. Why were there so many plot twists? Like, Oho was good and then she's evil and then she's good again, and why would the aliens do that? Like, were the parents on board? I don't think they ever specified if the parents were on board with the whole little trickery that happened. I didn't see anything wrong with it, but then I watched a bunch of videos about it. I'm like, yeah, I kind of see what was special about the movie. That's all. I think it's a good movie, but nothing will ever be the original Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Next thing is DC versus Marvel, which is another thing, which is actually something I've gotten into many debates about. I personally like DC, but I've been learning to appreciate Marvel more. That I've kind of gotten over my Teen Titans phase. Like, when I was little, I was always be like DC because I was a little fetus that hadn't seen any superhero movies, because I would always say I didn't like conflict because anything. I mean, I was a kid who was scared of Frosty the Snowman because he melted and would have to leave the room for that scene because that was too emotional for me to handle. The only closest thing to a superhero movie that I watched would be Teen Titans Go, which we'll get to more later on in this video because that is on the list. So I would always say DC, right? And I would be like, I don't like Marvel, it's so boring. I do still personally like DC, but I think I've just gotten more invested into the DC universe. I do still need to see Wonder Woman 1984. I've been too busy watching We Can Be Heroes. I feel like DC's better at TV shows and Marvel makes better movies. I just feel like Marvel has more jokes and will make it less serious throughout the movie, so it'll lighten it. I don't know. I just find Marvel movies more enjoyable, like the process watching it. I also am not like invested in the Marvel world, so that's coming from someone who watches like a movie here and there with their friends. Even DC, I don't keep up with that much. Like, I know all the characters, and I love most of the characters except Harley Quinn. Okay, YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram. Now we're getting into social media, some really modern issues. I'm gonna go through my thoughts on each one as an individual. YouTube, I wasn't allowed to go on YouTube when I was younger. I had, like, YouTube Kids. I literally didn't even have the app on my phone until I decided that I wanted to do a channel. But I think YouTube... I like that it's more natural when people are vlogging and they're not always posing. I wish Instagram was more casual. I don't like it. It makes me feel like crap most of the time because when people post on their stories, I guess I could have added Snapchat in this. We're adding Snapchat too. We're gonna find the best social media. Snapchat's more of like text messaging though, but Instagram, like when people post on their stories, it's always really aesthetically pleasing and you're thinking that these people have the best lives ever and your life is just the worst ever. TikTok, I personally love TikTok. I mean, my mom will check it every now and then, but for the most part, TikTok is more like where the adults aren't, which is why I do appreciate it, but at the same time, people get away with stuff. In a way, TikTok brings out the worst in people. How much effort does it really take to be like, have a net worth of like something $1 million when you just do a few dances? Like, I'm an amazing dancer. So TikTok's like, I like it, but it depends on who I'm watching on TikTok. TikTok makes it seem like nobody has parents. Makes me feel even more like I'm a sheltered teenage child who can't do anything and live out my fun teenage years, which I don't think anybody can, and if they are, then they're just ruining it for everybody else, so thank you if you are. Snapchat I love. I wasn't allowed to have Snapchat until last year, and I literally had to ask for it for Christmas, and that's how I got Snapchat. I made a slideshow to convince my mom to have it be one of my Christmas presents. So that's what it was. I love it. I send amazing pictures to my friends. Like, people on Snapchat, they get the most flattering pictures of me. My favorite personally are the chin pics where you have your double chin. I think that's great. And the filters are amazing, but not the filters that make you look better. Oh, no. I like the filters that make you like the fun filters, and also the voice changing effects are really awesome. I think Snapchat's really fun, only if you're using it the right way. Some people use it for reasons that are not fun and light, and they use it for special things that will come back to bite them someday, because nothing is private on the internet. So overall, in last place we've got Instagram, and then TikTok I'm also putting in third place. Second is Snapchat, and the number one has to be YouTube. The Office. I know how to play the Office theme on guitar. Wow. I didn't actually give it a shot. I only watched the first episode, which I know that the other season I've gotten in debates with people. My mom loves The Office. I don't know why I don't like it. I just found it boring. I think my humor has not matured, so
I just have the humor of a 7-year-old.
What does that look? Okay, I just wrote vegan, but I think the only reason being vegan is something that's controversial right now is because of the vegan teacher. That person on TikTok. I have thought about going vegan. I think the vegan teacher has ruined vegans. Pepper! Do you want to talk about being vegan? Here is Pepper. She has some thoughts on being vegan. She's personally not a vegan. As you can tell, she eats anything. Thank you for joining the show where we paint and talk about controversial topics. Bye-bye. Okay, Teen Titans Go. I don't get why people hate it. Well, I do. I talked about it in that cartoon video. But, like, why is it such a strong hatred? It's meant for kids, so it's gonna be for kids. But I also like that it has, because it's, like, made by people who are, like, my mom's age. So she enjoyed it, too, because she would get some of the references that they would make. Of course, I would have no idea, but I would laugh along because other people are laughing. And that's kind of how jokes work. And the last thing is homework. It was created as a punishment. I remember Googling how homework was created and who created it because I was just furious. You go to school to do the schoolwork, but you shouldn't have to bring that home. You go to school when the school day is over. The school day should be over. I don't want to have to do extra stuff at my house.
This is my safe space.
So I finished the box, which you still cannot see very well because of the exposure, but I have the blue outline, and then I painted a bunch of little creatures on the side, so I'll always remember making this. I wrote EBBA 2021, and then that's supposed to say Jan, to be January, so that when I'm older reading this, I know that I was 15 and not 16. And guess what I'm keeping in here? These paints are really bad, but they're from like various sets. And actually I'm still going to use it to keep my broken Santa. So this is the outcome of the video, plus some good conversation starters. You can use these conversation starters on Snapchat, which is the second best social media app, according to me.